started.
Okay, Jay Bennett versus Ugly Duck. Let's say, okay, let's try D4. I've been playing a couple E4 games. And knight F6, so let's do the main line here, C4. See whether he wants to go to a lot of choices here. This is not one of the most common moves here. I think it's called the Marshall defense to the Queen's Gambit. Considered a little bit dubious because you can take and the Queen takes and you can develop the knight here with the tempo. I could have done that right away, although it's considered a little more accurate, I guess, to develop the knight to F3 first. And of course, if takes and knight takes, then you can advance the pawn with the tempo. But now the bishop is there stopping the pawn advance. So let's play knight c3. Now I am threatening takes followed by e4, so it probably needs to take over here now. Oh, he just defends it, okay. So this is Queen's Gambit declined with the bishop outside the pawn chain. I can start harassing that bishop at some point, but for now, let's just castle. Don't want to put the bishop here and have it traded off for no particular gain. This light squared bishop is good here. I could consider knight to d2 and f4 as a plan, followed by knight back and then knight to e5. It's kind of a slow plan, but black is developing a little bit slowly too here, so let's see. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, so he gets his knight to that good square. See if he wants to take with the bishop or the pawn. He goes with the pawn, okay. So now I can't easily get to that square. I need to create a way to get there. Or I could give up on that plan. Now, if I keep these, one way to get there is to push the pawn here to from c4 to c5, put the knight to c4, and then to e5. But that would give him a square here. So instead of that, I could just try and trap that bishop. We've got kind of a locked up structure in the center, and the bishop is a bit oddly placed there. Okay, he's just going to retreat. So let's go here and put my bishop on b2. Yeah, so now his knight is ready to jump into d5 at any moment. If I should relinquish that square, so let's not relinquish it. Put the bishop there. Find another path for the knight. Knight here, here, here to hit the bishop. Maybe advance first. Rook f2, pawn to g4, knight f1 to g3. And I can threaten things like f5 and d5. And over here on the queen side, I think I can just hold the line. Okay, so he wants to bust things up. Logical thing to try. So can I push? I guess not. So that means he takes, I will retake here. Let's kick this guy first. And bring my knight over to g3. If he takes, I'm going to retake with the bishop, I think. Have an open line for that bishop. And maintain some pressure on this square here, e5. I've got the bishop and the pawn on that. And then with knight g3, I can maybe lift up my queen and bring a rook over and double on the f-file, and then push to f4 here. Yeah, that's interesting. He's still not threatening to push. He's not threatening to push e5 just yet, but this undefended knight here means that I wanted to get the queen out of the way anyway. So I'm probably going to play king to g2 to defend the knight so that I can push the f-pawn forward, not be subject to queen takes g3. Aha, he's got that square and that square. Let's get up there now. Then rook over and push the pawn. Okay, so he's got this square here he could go for. Oh, and he's also defending that pawn if I wanted to try and win it. Not my immediate objective, and if he comes to this square, I'll just trade my bishop for his knight. Now it's blockade with the queen for now. We're going to fix that later. Also have to be wary of this pin on the d file here. So actually this this pawn serves a useful purpose in that this bishop is not pinned. Not at all. Okay, this is a point where I should do something. Looks like I should take the bishop. If he takes, he's just going to win a pawn there, and also it will. No, that will be fine. But he'll have a rook on this square here, which is not necessarily that great. Whereas if I take his bishop, then he has to retake with a pawn, and maybe I can take advantage of that open line on the king side. So I could play knight to h5 immediately, hitting that pawn. And I could follow up with something like queen here. Queen to b2 or c3. There's a nice follow-up to that. And if he pushes the pawn, say, to f4, then queen to c3 or b2 threatens mate. But this is not that case. He's defended the pawn. So let's attack it again. And also keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on the d3 square. d2. That pawn's threatening to come through and become a queen. Ah, he goes that way. That's a little dangerous, I thought. But he could take back with the queen. So pawn takes, queen takes, queen takes, pawn takes. Knight here, check. Okay, knight here, check first. Queen takes, pawn takes. Pawn is defended and the queen is attacked. And both my rooks are on this file, but what is the follow-up? What is the follow-up? Oh, okay, so if I play f5 instead, I shut out the bishop. And if he pushes that pawn ahead, well, I have this idea of taking on f6 still. And if he does nothing at all, I can blockade this pawn and then win it. Rook over, and the other rook over if necessary. Okay, he's attacking one of my pawns. Yes, good idea. Counterattack. Counterattack. But I do get this check. I should probably take it. Check there, king up to attack the knight, say. Knight back with check, and then queen here, or check here. King goes to that square is the only other choice. Knight back here. Oh, no, I can't take there. I'm sorry. That pawn is defended by the queen. Check. Knight. King attacks the knight. Knight back check or king there. And this pawn here, what do I do about that?
Check.
Seems like that's got to be the right idea. I could put my knight to this square, or I could put a pawn on that square. And so once again, I am threatening to round up this pawn over here on the d file, and I also want a pawn on the f file. So, and his bishop has no squares. So if things get difficult for this knight, I can just take that bishop and then win another pawn, and I should be winning this endgame with the heavy pieces. So how about queen takes, either pawn or rook takes, and then rook over. So he plays rook takes, say. Queen takes, because queen takes, pawn takes, and then rook over wins a pawn. So queen takes, rook takes, rook over, rook over. And how do I get my knight back into the game? Ah, knight there. That's it. Knight 2. Whatever square that is d5. Knight to d5. Will interrupt the communication between the rooks and allow me to win the d-pawn here. Oh, but I'll lose that pawn. I could just walk over with the king. How about king here, here. The knight's nicely holding on to everything. Okay, he's going to force me to give up the knight. But I have time now to protect that pawn. Come over here, win this other pawn. Should be a winning endgame. Let's see, king to these two squares. Rooks, see the rooks have no activity or scope here. They're all blocked in. I have an extra pawn on the queen side, and after I grab this guy I'll have an extra pawn on the king side. Should be pretty routine. So he's going to invade. Takes, takes, rook here, check. King down. Why don't I do pawn up then? Can't allow that to open up prematurely. And then I can grab this pawn.
Black resigns.
Okay, good game. I think I'll upload this one and I will follow up with a post-mortem video as
challenge.
usual. And see you guys later. Bye.